gonna start recording because I definitely forgot to record. Whoops. Okay, let me make sure I've muted everybody. Okay, I think we're good. And now I'm going to switch to think about something else for a minute. Okay. Unmute. So sorry. Okay. Can you hear me now and it's not screeching? Very good. Okay. Whew. We do not like that sound. Okay. So this is going to be in charge of the meeting now. Let me see if I can switch that real quick. Technology is so fun. Oh, I need to unshare my screen. Wait, I already did that. Ooh. I'm so good at this, you guys. Okay. We'll get there eventually, I promise. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Trying to make sure. I think I can. Well, I think if nothing else, the audio should be okay for this. Meeting settings. Maybe. No, maybe not. So sorry. I know watching your teacher struggle with technology is like the best part of every class, right? Okay, let's see if this is gonna work. Okay, so are you guys hearing me on Minerva now? You're seeing the screen that's like all the stuff instead of my face. Yay, okay, it looks like it's working. Okay, thumbs up if you're good and you can see everything, including my example. Awesome, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to grab my brushes. All right, should I do a basic sky or should I do a sunset sky? You don't really need to see what a blue sky looks like. I think you can probably handle using your brain to figure that one out. So if you want to do a blue sky, you're just going to put together a little bit of blue and a little bit of white, and then you're just going to paint it on there. No sweat. I would say don't worry too much about making the color perfectly smooth. If it's a little bit streaky, like if you look in the sky, it's not always like perfectly flat color. Very often it's kind of streaky or has like other colors kind of going on through it. So I wouldn't worry too much if your paint isn't perfectly smooth when you put it on there. You can mix it and you can try to make it smooth, but you can also just leave it a little streaky if you want to. Okay, so I've got my cereal box here where I'm going to put all my paints on. And I think I'm going to do a sunset sky because that is just, I like a challenge. Okay, so I'm going to go into my little cup of paint and I'm using my popsicle stick to help me scoop it out. I usually don't put my brushes in these cups because then this paint stays nice and clean and I can use it for other projects, hopefully. Don't use all the paint for this one because we are going to paint your banners in a couple weeks too. So I'm just scooping out some of the paint. So I think I'm going to do a pink and purple sky today. Maybe I'll throw some blue in there too. So I'm going to add a little bit on there. And I'm using my popsicle stick to scoop up just a tiny bit of blue. You may want to stir your paints around a little bit to make sure that they're not separated. Sometimes when you stir it out, they're a little gloppy, and that's okay. And then on my palette, okay, I think you guys can see that okay, right? I'm gonna swirl them together to see what I've got. Ooh, that's too much blue. Okay, so I'm glad I kind of did that because now I can show you how you respond. So I'm gonna add a little more pink because I definitely fell in with the blue on that one. Should have used less, that's okay. Live and learn. Okay, I'm mixing them with my popsicle stick because then that won't wreck my brush. Ooh, I like it. Okay. Is everybody with me so far? And you can make whatever colors for your sunset sky that you would like, definitely. Just make sure that they are colors that are side by side on the color wheel. I'm grabbing my apron real quick because I realize I am 100% going to get paint on my clothes if I don't do that. Okay, I'm a very messy artist and it's okay. All right, so I've got my colors. So I'm making sure everything is still in frame for you guys, hopefully. Okay. Oh, I almost forgot. I need to add a little bit of white. So I'm going to use popsicle sticks have 2 ends. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of white to my pink. And that'll make it cover a little better. Okay. Any questions so far? Everybody good? Uh-oh, let's scroll down and see. Oh, good question. I like it all. I'm not picky. I think I probably like painting best. Colored pencils are pretty good though. As long as we're using color, I'm happy. Ooh, black and white's okay too. Okay, so I'm snapping my lids back on. Make sure that you put the lids on until they snap when you close up your paints today, because we want them to last for, you know, next time that we're using them. Okay, so I've got my palette set up. I've got my plate. Oh, and I've already got paint on my hands. Awesome, this is going great. Okay, so you probably want to use one of your bigger brushes today to start. I'm going to use probably either, how do I get it in the camera? Okay, technology. Probably one of these guys. So either the one that's the flat one that says 5/8 or the one that says 8. One of those 2 big guys. I think you can probably look at them and figure out which one is big. I'm going to use my biggest brush. And when I'm painting it on here, I'm going to start with my lightest color. I can put it at the top. I can put it at the bottom. It really doesn't matter. Wherever you want to put it is fine. So I'm going to paint a strip of pink. Here's the other trick, guys. When you're painting, make sure that you mix enough that you can do the whole area that you have in mind, because you do not want to have to mix it again if you can help it. Believe me though, it happens. So I'm going to paint a strip at the bottom. I'm going to make sure that I go all the way up to the edges, because you will kind of be able to see that. Yeah, you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, cool. We're good. Painting the sides, painting the edges. Okay. So I've got my pink on there. I'm going to do the fancy one if you kind of want to watch, but if you are just into what you're doing, you can also just watch. Uh-oh. Who needs help?
Hey, Julian.
Julian, what's up?
I think I painted on the wrong side of my plate. Which side do you paint on? Like,
oh, that is such a good question. I did not even go into that. Paint on the side like where the food is.
oh, okay. Yay, I did it on the right side.
You did it on the right side? Yay! Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I should have said that. I didn't even think of that. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, so you're painting on the side where the food goes. Okay. And if you paint it on the back, like, it's okay. Just do your other plate. Let that one dry. No big deal. So I'm painting with my second color. And just like last week, when you blend your colors, you want to add your color all over. Oh, nope. Okay, I just put paint on the back of mine. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. There's like a small little area that you can see, and then there's a lot of areas where you can't see. Okay. So if I want to blend, let me flip it around. I'm going to wipe most of the purple out of my brush. And I'm going to blend it in the area in between. You got to do this while your paint is still wet is the only tricky bit. So sometimes it's going to work out and sometimes it's just not in the cards. Okay. Sometimes you might need to add a little bit more pink to it. Okay, so I'm just going to have a streaky sky. You know what? That's cool. All right, once I've got my pink and my purple on there, if I wanted to be fancy, I could add a little bit of light blue up here at the top. Through the magic of swap outs, I'm going to grab my finished one. Oops. I'm fooling nobody because there's yarn on it. Okay, and miraculously, ta-da, I'm all done. All right, make sure when you're painting, you don't add too much paint. You don't want it to be super crazy thick because you do want it to dry within, you know, like 10 or 15 minutes. That should be pretty doable if you spread the paint out not too thick. I think you can probably tell when it's thin enough. These paper plates actually really like absorbing the paint pretty good, but if you glop a ton of paint on there, then it will probably take a little while to dry. So just make sure that you spread out your paint thin enough that you can get it to dry eventually. Oh, and if you need to wash out your brush in between colors, you can either use water in a cup and then dry it off, or you can just go over to the sink and wash out. You're in your own house, so you do what you got to do. And then whenever you're finished with the painting part, when you've got it spread out nice and thin, you can set it aside to either be in front of a window or by a fan or use a hair dryer. Whatever low-tech technology you want to use is great. Okay, everybody doing all right? Oops, sorry. Okay, everybody happy painting rainbows?
I finished my painting.
Sweet. Okay, you might have a couple minutes, and you can go ahead and wash out your brushes if you want to, or you can just dunk them in the water and swirl them around so they don't get you know, all the dried out paint in them.
And I just learned something. When
Oh,
you
cool.
mix pink with blue, it gets a purple.
Yes, it makes a beautiful purple. Ooh. Good job, Julian. Okay. If it isn't mixing really well, if it's still a little streaky, like it's okay if it's a little streaky. I wouldn't sweat it too hard. If you want it to be less streaky, a couple things you can do. You can swirl it more on your palette to like get it mixed better. You could add just a tiny bit of white, and that will help it cover more. But yeah, sometimes, well, here's the other thing that might help too. If you do a second coat, that always covers better than the first coat. It just, I don't know, it likes to absorb into the paper plate and not really behave itself all that nice. So if yours is not mixing great right at first, don't sweat it. You can either work on fixing it or you can just be like, well, it is what it is. Oh, that's how you see names. All right, how's your rainbow looking? You want to show me your project? Oh, they're wet paintings. If you hold them up, it's going to get messy. Well, if you want to hold it up and show it to me, you might have to clean your fingers off afterward. Ooh, good job, Reed. That's looking good. Oh, that's pretty. Good job, Henley. Okay. So we've set them aside somewhere to dry, hopefully in a minute here. We'll give everybody a couple of more seconds to catch up. All right, let me make sure I've got the next part ready. Okay, if you want to wash your brushes out, you can. Oh, how did I make the clouds? Here's the secret. I decided we wouldn't do the clouds in class because they take longer and I'm worried about the paint drying. But if you are absolutely dying to do clouds, I posted, did I post the video? I intended to post the video in the slideshow. Let me take a quick peek and see if I did that. I may be slightly, oh, it's not in the slideshow, but I will put it in the slideshow because I shot a video of it, but then I did not share it with you. So sorry, but I will. The basic idea with the clouds, I don't like a white cloud just because I feel like, especially if you're doing a multicolor sky, it's not really all that truthful, that it's just like a white cotton ball floating in the sky. So usually what I do is I mix like a lot more white into my sky colors, whatever those were. And then I just kind of like dab them on in like little dots. And I like my clouds to be like a triangle shape, but I'm kind of a cloud snob. Ooh, good job. And if you wanted to not paint clouds on yours, like that really is okay because we've got cotton to add clouds in. So you might end up with cloud overload if you paint them on and you add them with the cotton, but it is your choice. You can paint them on, you can add them with the fluff at the end, whatever you would like to do. Cool, nice job. Oh yeah, you got it. Good job, Julian. Okay. If you want to add some clouds, you can. Let's see. Ooh, I just remembered something. I'm going to need to write down names in a minute because we're going to do the prize drawing. Okay. I thought about us painting clouds together, but I don't want to take too long on the painting part. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but I wrote in all caps on my notes to myself, do not teach how to paint clouds. Because I knew I would be tempted because I love painting them so much. Okay, so we're gonna try to wrap up the painting in the next minute or so here if you're not done just yet, because we want to give enough time for it to be totally dry before we start the weaving part. This is sort of the only tricky part of this project is that, ooh, pretty. Good job, Julian. The only tricky part of this project is that, nice. There's wet paint and then there's yarn. Normally, if we were in class, I would probably we'd take a snack break now and it would be like 30 minutes or something at least. That's not really one of our choices this time. So, okay, we'll try to finish up. We need to, oh, I forgot to write this into my notes and I almost forgot. Where are my notes? There they are, okay. So, prize drawing. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, so I'm gonna mute this one. Okay, I had to turn off the example one for a minute because I couldn't cut the audio without it screeching again. So we're just gonna do it that way. I have to rejoin now. So we'll do the prize drawing in just a second. If you want to finish your painting, if you want to wash your brushes quickly, we will keep going momentarily. I know this is like your favorite part. Where? There it is. Okay, my example should be back and I will leave the audio off for now. Okay, beautiful. And no screeching, right? Uh-oh. Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, okay, sweet. Thank you. Okay, so now for the prize drawing, I'm gonna share my screen with you again. And you get to see this fun tool that I have. Okay, so in the Artsonia gallery, let's see who we've got so far. We've got Minka, Amelia, Eva, Quinn, Evan, Dakota, Bailey, Henley, Noelle, Sunny, Jen, Skylar, Gabriella, Emmeline, Elise, Kylie, and me. Okay, so I put all those names into my name spinner. Haha. Okay, and I double checked that I made sure I got everybody. Okay, so let me grab my stickers and we can see which sticker everybody's gonna get. Okay, so square, Circle blue and green. Circle pink. Triangle trees. And the triangle mountains. Oh, in the bottom. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 stickers to give away. Let's see who's gonna get them. Okay, let's do the. Oh, I know. I'll let you pick if you're here. We'll try it anyway. This might be a disaster. Let's see how it goes. Okay. So first sticker winner. Oh, so close. Skylar gets. I'm gonna remove that person. Okay. I think because I'm speaking, you guys can see me. Okay. Is Skylar here? I don't think I can see that right now. Skylar's gonna get this little square guy. Ooh, ah, so pretty. Okay. Next. This round blue and green one. Ooh. Okay, I'm taking it out. That one. Next one is the pink and purple circle one. I'm tempted to keep this one for myself, but I will not. Ooh. All right. This one goes to Emma. And here's the exciting thing. The more spins we do, the less names there are, so the more chances are that it's gonna be you. Okay, the next one is this one with a tree on it. Ooh, ah. Oh, Evan. We got 2 more. Hopefully you're not super bored of this. Okay, next one is gonna be this pink and purple with mountains. And last but not least, we've got the one that's called Summer in a Bottle, which is like a little bottle with a tint. So don't forget who gets what. So if you won one of the stickers this week, I'm going to put these in the mail to you today, and hopefully they will get to you pretty quick. I wrote down who got what, so I think we're good on that. Cool. Okay, don't put those somewhere that they're going to get lost. Okay. So if you would like to be included in the prize drawing for next week, if you didn't get picked this week, or if you didn't get in the drawing this week, all you have to do is post one of your pieces of artwork in our Artsonia gallery and make sure that your parents say it's okay for me to post it. And then you'll be entered in the drawing for next week. Oh, what is the prize next week, you ask? It's a surprise. I have to make it still. You'll like it though, I promise. It's either a coloring sheet or some stickers, something I can mail to you. We'll see which one it is. Okay, so I think that was all I needed to show you on the screen. Okay. Let me make sure. Okay, do we still need our paints out? Did I put Dakota in the drawing? Let me see. Oh, I'm so sorry I left you out. Okay, that was not, I really thought I put you in. Okay. So sorry. I'm writing myself a note because if I don't, I will forget that too. So sorry. Okay. Did anybody else not see their name on the spinner but they had put some art in the Artsonia gallery? So sorry. Okay. So next, we probably need to give the paint like a good solid, maybe, like 5 more minutes. Very nice. To dry before we move on, maybe even a little bit longer than 5 minutes. So I had an idea. We'll see how this goes. I've never done it before, but I read about it and I thought this sounds super fun. And it also gives you guys a chance to possibly talk a little bit and share some things. Because I saw last week somebody offered to show us their cat and I missed it. And I can't believe I missed it because I would have been like, yes, we want to see your cat. But the moment is past. Okay, so we're going to try a scavenger hunt. Oh, that was you. That was your cat. So let's try a scavenger hunt. Has anybody ever done a scavenger hunt at home on Zoom before? No? Yeah? Maybe? It sounds fun to me. Okay, so the ground rules are when you get up to move, do not run around your house like a crazy person. Walk. If you need help getting something, ask for help so you can get it safely. So if I say, let's say, I don't know, show me some scissors, that would be like the most boring one ever. You're going to walk to find scissors. You will pick up the scissors and you will hold it up in front of the camera. Voila, scissors. Ooh, ah. Good job. I can see that you guys understand how this works. And then if you want to share about your item, I don't know why you'd want to tell me about your fancy scissors, but just in case, you will wave it at, you can wave at the camera and then you'll tell us your name and then something about your item. But I don't think we probably need to talk about scissors. Does that make sense? Ground rules? Cool. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do for the scavenger hunt, and if you need to wash your brushes instead, you do you. It's fine. If you have time to do the scavenger hunt, if you've set your painting aside to dry somewhere safe where it will be dry in the next, we hope 5 to 10 minutes, maybe in front of a fan, maybe not. Tonight? Okay, I didn't. I thought I put my elbow in the paints. We're not going to need the paint anymore today. So paint is finito. I'm going to move it because I am accident prone, and if I don't, I'm probably going to get it on me, which would probably be funny. Okay. So first thing for this scavenger hunt that we're going to go and find, something that starts with the first letter of your name. So you can just like look around on your table or you can like walk around your house, whatever you want to do. Just don't run. Something that starts with this first letter of your name. How am I drawing a blank? Ah.
A horse puzzle.
Oh, good job, Henley.
Yay, Beth.
Beth, what'd you find?
Yeah, come back. She didn't hear.
Basket.
Oh, Beth brought a basket. Cool.
Hey, Frank, did Bailey make this in art camp or at school? Do you remember?
I think it was probably school.
She couldn't remember.
Very cool. Okay, and you guys, I almost forgot, you have to unmute yourself to be able to talk. Okay. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, Julian, what'd you bring? And, okay, I'm gonna mute you first.
Mine is a bull because my name is Julian.
A jewel. Good job. Cute. Okay.
And actually, I found it on a scavenger hunt before. So.
Coming full circle.
I found Rice Krispies.
Oh, Reed found Rice Krispies. Find.
You want to show it?
No. I found an eraser.
Oh, good job, Ella. That does start with an E.
You want to just say it?
Uh-oh. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Okay, what'd you find, Barrett?
I found ball.
Ah, good job. So your name really is Barrett, huh?
Mhm.
I was worried that might be your last name, so I didn't want to call you that before, but now I will call you Barrett. Okay. Eva, find.
An egg.
Ah, nice. That does start with E. I like that a lot of this stuff is like breakfasty stuff or kitchen-y stuff. Garrison, what did you find?
Green.
Oh, yeah, it is green. Good job. Darcy,
It's mostly green. It has some tan.
okay, go ahead and
I made it.
okay. So Darcy, what'd you find? Uh-oh, sorry, I muted everybody again. What'd you find?
I found a dinosaur.
Cute.
It's a dinosaur.
Good job. Okay. Dakota, what'd you find? Uh-oh, you gotta unmute. Hang on.
I have a dog.
Is it a real dog? It is a real and uncooperative dog. Awesome. Thanks, Dakota. Let's see. What did you find? Sunny and Jim. Jim, what'd you find?
I found, my name is Jim, and I found gel
Oh, I see what you did.
I found glasses.
that are pink. I don't know.
Good job, Sunny and Jim. Okay, I think I've missed a few people. Quinn, what did you find?
I found a quilt.
Ah, good job. You know, I was gonna say, I feel like your job is kind of harder than some people's because Q is not the most common letter, but you did it. You succeeded. You probably had to think about this before. Okay, Kylie, what'd you find?
I found my Kung Fu medal.
Ooh, sweet. What did you have to do to get that medal?
1,060 push-ups.
Ooh la la. That is more push.
I can't do them anymore though.
You learned them just
I
long.
used to, but then I stopped Kung Fu and then I stopped doing push-ups.
Cool. Who have I missed? Have I missed anybody? Salem and Kai Taylor, did you want to show something now? I don't want to pressure anybody if they're not interested. Eva, your dog is so cute. Reed, did you have something? You were raising your hand.
I have Rice Krispies.
Oh, a tiny box. Cool. Okay, Reese, what did you find? Unmute yourself.
I found I have my ring that I got from the dentist.
Ooh, cool.
It's blue and it has a flower.
Pretty. Nice. Good job, Reese. Okay. Anybody? Quinn, you can show your cat if you have it handy. If you have to go and hunt extensively, maybe not, but we have a few minutes to kill while we're waiting for paint to dry. Lynn, what you got?
So it doesn't start with my name, but since we're doing rainbows, I wanted to show you guys. It's a rainbow happy rock that I found.
Ooh, cool. Did you find that like in your neighborhood or something?
Well, actually, my friend found it for me at a park.
Oh, that's even better. I love it. Oh, it looks like Salem and Kai Taylor figured one out. Oh, and Quinn found their cat. Yay.
Peppermint stick.
Ah, Salem got a stick. Kai, what'd you get?
He got a stick too, but because his real name is Sakaya.
Oh, Kai is short for Sakaya. Now I see. Cool. And Quinn? So Quinn, what is your cat's name? Uh-oh, can you unmute and hold a cat at the same time? We're gonna find out.
His name is Mario.
Aw. Does he
and
like
he's
cows?
fighting me? So I better let him go.
Well, thank you for showing him. I like it. I always want to see everybody's pets, by the way, just in case you were wondering. If the question is, do you want to see a dog? The answer is always yes. Yes, I do. Cats too, I guess, but definitely dogs for sure. Ah, Bear got her dog. She's getting revenge on you by licking your face. I think, did you guys see my dog last week? I think I brought him in here with me because he was destroying things in the living room. I think he's just sleeping today. I hope he's sleeping today. I don't know. He might be eating boxes of zip back again. Hopefully not. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and remute everybody. Okay, so go ahead and, oh, obviously you guys figured out how to raise your hands. Yay. Check on your painting. Kind of look at it and see if it's drying. It might still be a little bit shiny, but there will be areas that are very, very shiny if they're wet. You also can kind of like grab it and like maybe just very carefully, if there's a spot you think might be dry, might be wet, you can kind of like very carefully like kind of poke it with your finger and see. And then you will probably have to wipe your finger off because the answer is almost always the paint is still wet. Okay. So if your paint is dry, give me a thumbs up. Your paint. 3, 4. Okay. Cool. Here's my question. Should we do one more scavenger hunt item and then we'll leave? Is that fun? Should we do another one?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do one more. Just to be safe and make sure everybody is 100% dry before we move on, because as I say, nobody wants wet paint on yarn. That's just nasty. Okay, oh, actually your pet was the next thing on the list, so we already did that. How about something that you made, but not today? I keep saying these things and then I have a panic where I'm like, have I ever made anything before? Ah. Okay. So Eva, what did you find?
So at McDonald's, we got something and then I remade it into something.
Ooh. Cool. So like you painted the inside?
And the outside.
Oh, nice.
It was like a minion thing that, hold on, I'll show you what it was. It looks like this.
Gotcha. And you repainted it.
Yeah, but this one has 2 eyes.
Cool.
We got some paint.
Okay. Kylie, what did you bring that you made?
My flowers.
Ooh. Is that a drawing?
Uh-huh.
Cool. Very nice.
Flowers.
Want to share? Elle, what you got?
Well, I moved recently, and this was for my old class,
And I also know what I made a long time ago. This is when I was from a baby.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. I think we probably all have that in common that we all like. Cool. I'm going to mute everybody again so we can just hear who are showing. So I'm going to show you mine really quick. This is a painting that I made that's it's three-dimensional kind of. It's like layers so they pop out. Ooh, ah. I like making paintings. Okay, so we got Kylie, we got Eva.
Come on.
Garrison, what'd you make?
A robot with my, it doesn't really move, but like a toy robot
Ooh.
with my toys,
So you like
but just, it doesn't actually move by itself. I have to move it around.
cool.
And then
And
I
it-
made his
and it has a
birthday.
And it has a suction thing.
Ooh. Super cool. Good job. Okay, who else wants to share? You don't have to share every time if you don't really feel like it. Okay, let's do Salem and Kai. What'd you bring?
So I don't know where Kai is, but I weaved this last year.
Ooh, in school?
The sticks. No, I made one at school, but then I made another one at home.
Because you liked it? Very cool. Okay, how about Julene? What you got? Julene. I keep calling you Julene.
It is Julian. And I made these bookmarks out of like the thing where we were testing the colors. So I colored on them with a Sharpie, and then I'm gonna cut them out and give them to people.
That's fun. So you're like using that sort of like experimental practice thing that we did last week.
Yes, ma'am.
Very cool. Okay, Dakota's back. What'd you bring this time?
I painted this the other day.
Ooh, beautiful. Is that a bookmark too?
It can be.
Cool. It can be if you put it in a book. Nice job. Okay. Sunny and Jem, did you bring something this time? Okay, what'd you get?
We brought something. I think I'm gonna go in next. Sunny, you can go first.
Okay, I made a mosaic at my grandpa's house.
That is beautiful. How did you make it? Jem?
I made super cool space thing that basically all is made of magnets, and so are these three green things. Basically, you put the green things down where you want them to. Then you
can play space golf.
then you decide which planet you think you want to hit.
Mhm.
And then you put the green things in their spots. Then you put the ball through like a hole in the side. That'll launch it.
It's like
And then it actually goes and hits one of the planets. Or it doesn't.
Cool. It's like
Proves our magnetic. Like,
Henley and Beth, what did you make? It's tiny. Oh, is that beads?
Yeah, it's a bead art. And you like would get a tray, and then you would put the beads down, and then you would get like a sprayer, and then you would like spritz it, like.
And that makes it stay.
And you waited overnight or a couple hours, and then they become like this.
That is so cool. Okay. Barrett, what did you make?
Wait.
Ooh. It looks like kind of like heart snowflakes. That's cool. Very pretty. Thank you for sharing. Okay, I see Evan has his hand up. Evan, what did you make? Oh, gotta unmute first, buddy. Quinn, you got it? Yeah.
I made this. It's one of those bracelets that you make.
Oh, like with beads?
Oh, it's
There you go. Oh, nice. Is it?
I made it at a camp.
Oh, cool. Very nice. Thank you for sharing. And then I see that Juliet has this cute little butterfly that she made. Juliet, you want to share about your butterfly?
Do you want to talk to them?
No.
Just show. Okay, that's cool. You can just show. You don't have to tell. Okay, I see Salem and Kai Taylor. Kai's back. What'd you get?
I got like a dragon.
Ooh. How cool. You know what, guys? I think this is super fun that, like, if we were just at camp, if we were together in the same place right now, we probably couldn't do this because, I mean, you could show stuff that you had made, but it would have to be something that you brought with you. This is so cool because it's like anything in your house. I get to see your pets. I get to see stuff you made. Kylie, did you have something you wanted to share again? That is a cool dragon. Thank you for sharing, guys. Okay. One more. Kylie's going to close it out, and then we're going to weave. What you got? Uh-oh. You got to unmute. Oh, and Reese needs a turn, too.
I wrote a book.
Ooh.
I'm writing a book.
That's awesome. What's it about?
And I can't, dragons, and I can't read it to you because it's really long. So far, it's 22 pages.
Ooh la la. That's awesome. Do you
No,
write?
no, not 2. More than 22. Like 23 or 4 something.
That's awesome. Is it? I'm assuming it's fiction if it's dragons.
Yeah.
Cool. That is awesome.
I'm going to quickly show you the pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the first page. And this
So you're writing
second.
it, illustrating it too?
Yeah.
Cool. Very nice. Looks like that's a lot of work. Okay. We have recently raised your hand. Nice jump. Thank you. Okay, Reese, can you unmute and show us what you got? Yay! Cool.
Okay, I have a book that I wrote too.
Nice.
I used a picture book, how to draw a book,
Oh.
and then I made my book with it. Here's
Cool.
a snail and a pig, and I made a cat here, and on the back, here.
Very cool. Oh, that's cute. Or a fairy.
And I have 2 of these. Here's a color wheel that I made that shows the opposite of each color.
Cool. You guys are busy. Oh, uh-oh, I accidentally muted you again, Reese. I'm sorry. That is cool. And I love how you guys are encouraging each other too. That is so lovely. If you wanted to, with the popsicle sticks, oh my gosh, I think I just put my foot in paint. If you wanted to with the popsicle sticks, sometimes I will save them because the paint will just dry and then you can use them again next time. Or if it bugs you to have like lots of wet paint around, you can just toss them, whichever. You will need them one more time for our next, well, for our project in 2 weeks, but not like right away.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing, guys. I hope I didn't cut anybody off. That was very, very fun. Okay, so are we ready to weave? I think we should weave. Okay, so here's what you're going to need. You're going to need your, hopefully now, very dry painting. You're going to need your bag of yarn. And the yarn that you need to find first is your white yarn. This is the part, so like beginning the weaving is the tricky part where you might need a little bit of help. Okay, and then kind of once we get going, it's easy and it just goes, but in the beginning it can be a little bit tricky. Okay, so everybody got their painted plate and their white yarn. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the iPad again, so I'm gonna mute my computer.
We can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Good. Okay, and no screeching, right? Whew, okay, sorry. It's a little rocky every time that happens, but we'll get there. Okay, so you need your white string and you need your nice, dry, painted plate. Okay, good. Whew. Okay, so there are, there's a cut on the bottom and there are cuts around the outside edge, right? So there should be 7 cuts. We're gonna start on the far left-hand, trying to figure out the best way to show you this. The far left-hand cut, that's the first one. And we're gonna take the end of the yarn and we're gonna put it into the cut, and you wanna leave enough that you can tie a knot with what's left at the end. So I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna kind of floss it into the cut, and I'm gonna leave about 6 inches on the back so I can tie a knot when I'm finished, when I get to the end. And then the rest of it, all this extra yarn, should kind of be coming out the front. That's the working yarn. So your working yarn should be on the front and your little tail for tying it should be on the back. Are you with me so far? Okay. Does anybody, good job, Dakota. Looks good, Reese. Anybody still struggling to get the cut or the yarn in the right cut? Okay. So you've got your yarn in your first cut on the left, and the rest of your working yarn is coming through on the front. So I'm gonna take the working yarn and I'm gonna go down to the cut on the bottom. And I'm gonna just kind of floss it up in there. So it looks like that. Just like a diagonal line that goes, yep, perfect. Looks good, looks good. If you wanna hold it up so I can make sure you're on the right track, that's helpful. Good job, Kylie. Looks good, Henley. Looks good, Beth. Cool. Yeah, it looks good, Quinn. Okay, So here's the tricky part. It's not that hard to do, but it's hard to communicate. Okay, so the working yarn is on the back of your plate right now, right? So I'm gonna take the working yarn and I'm gonna come up to the second cut. So I'm coming around the back and I'm pulling it into the second cut. So basically, it should be pretty smooth along the back. It shouldn't be too tight. It shouldn't be too loose. And it's gonna, like, each piece is gonna make kind of like a pie piece. So do you see how they're all gonna make diagonals to that bottom cut? So you go to the second cut and then down to the bottom again. And then around the back, up to the third cut. I'm trying to show you this the best I can. And you'll want to flip over and make sure it's nice and smooth along the back, not too loose, not too tight. And then from the third cut, you're going to go down to the bottom again. So I think you kind of probably can see what the pattern is now, right? So you're going to go around the back, up to your next cut, down to the bottom, around the back, up to the next cut. Basically, you just go around and around and around, and eventually, don't go too fast. Make sure it's nice and smooth. You just go to each cut in order. This is kind of the tricky bit. So you should have like pie pieces all the way across the top. Yeah, there you go. Good job. Make sure that they're like, let me see, kind of like not too loose, not too tight. You good, Dakota?
I don't have enough yarn.
Yeah. Okay. Back up and try to have a little bit less of a tail. Oh, I'm showing you on the wrong one. That's why it's not fitting. So back up, back up, back up. You might have just left a little bit too much of a tail. Okay, let me find my slot out here. Ooh. Okay, and then the last step, when you get to the end, you're either going to tape those two loose ends onto the back of your plate, if you have some tape, or you're going to tie them together in a knot, like tie the two loose ends together to each other, if you have enough yarn, hopefully. If you don't have enough yarn to reach for the knot, then you can definitely use tape. So it should look like, I'm doing mine with gray on white because it's a little bit easier for you guys to see what it should look like. And also this is the one that I have finished. Okay, good job. Yeah, that looks good, Ella. Looks good, Barrett. Looks good, Kylie. Nice. How's it going, Quinn?
Evan still doesn't have enough yarn.
Uh-oh. It might be just a little bit short. Can you tape it on the back?
I don't know. No, because it's like a tiny.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
We cut that one too short. Yikes. Okay. If we cut that one too short, okay. Pick a color that you don't like that much. We're going to tie it on. We're troubleshooting in real time. So if we went a little too, oh wait, did we give you one piece of white yarn or did we give you two pieces of white yarn?
Just one.
Ah, Okay.
I don't think we have any white. Okay.
Okay, then I would say pick another piece of yarn, any color. Pick a color, any color.
Hand me the scissors, somebody. Blue scissors.
You could maybe make it blue, then it will kind of match the sky if it's not long enough. Okay, and you're just going to tie on your new piece to your old piece, and then you can finish. So sorry about that. I should have just made them too long because then you could trim them. You can always cut it off, but it's a little trickier if you've got to add on, right? Okay, so Quinn, are you doing okay with adding the next piece? Yeah, cool, okay.
Miss Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, Julian.
I don't have tape or glue in my house right now because we just ran out of tape. So what do I do with the two loose ends?
With the
Like,
two loose
tie
ends?
them.
Yeah,
they're not-
oh, you don't have quite enough to tie them together, huh?
Yeah.
Well, probably your best bet will be
Can I
tie
like,
another piece.
Can I tie them? Can I do that?
I don't know if that'll give you enough to actually work with. What if you do this? Choose a color, tie it on to the end, and then it'll probably just be enough to kind of tie it to get you down to that bottom part, and then to tie it to the other one on the back. Do you kind of see what I mean? So it might actually kind of be invisible. And honestly, it's not the end of the world if one string is a different color, but it'll hopefully give you, actually that's happening on mine too. So I've tied it on, and then it gives me enough to go into the cut one more time, and then I can tie them together. Is that working okay? Does anyone else need help troubleshooting how to get your string? Salem and Kai, it looked like you needed help too, huh? Just tie another piece on and we'll go with that. Is that okay? I wish I was there to help you guys because this would be easy if I was helping you. So sorry. Someday we'll get there again, I promise. Okay. So tie on a new piece, and then you're probably gonna have like a ton of leftovers, and that's okay. Just like tie what you need to make it stay, and then you can trim off the extra. And you'll probably even still have enough to weave with. Okay. Okay, so what we have here, these threads that are going to be the skeleton of our weaving, this is called your warp threads. The warp is like the skeleton, and then the body is all those rainbow colors that we're going to add on to it. That's the weft. So once you've got your warp strings, like each piece is in place, and then you've got it either tied or taped on the back. I'm going to go ahead and do mine. Just going to tie it together and cut off the extra. Oh, there's so much extra. Yikes. Oh boy. So if you can tie a knot, or if you can get somebody big to help you tie a knot, I know knots can be a little tricky. Okay. And the back of mine is not beautiful. It is like a pretty big mess right now, but here's the good news. You flip it over and you won't even see any of that junk. So, art magic. Okay. Who's calling me? Okay, Julian, are you good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Eva, what's up?
I tried like 1,000 times to keep tying it on the back. I just can't do it. How do you add the extra?
How do you add the extra? Okay, so you take the loose end, you take your new one, but let me show you with some colors that you can see really good maybe. Okay, so you take the two pieces. Here's a trick that you can do for a knot that will hopefully help you out. If you can't do the kind where it's like tying your shoe, you know, where you tie it twice, here's a different kind of knot. So you take your two ends, you put them next to each other, so they're neighbors, you make a circle. I usually go around my finger. And then I take the short end and push it through the O through the back. And then that
Thank
just,
you.
does that work?
I
Does anybody
have
want to
get
see the
my
knot
new
again? Okay, give that a try and see how it works. Does anybody need to see the knot again? No, we're good. Okay, if your strings are a little bit loose, you can just kind of pull some of the extra into the back. And then as you weave through it, hopefully they should stay pretty tight. You might have to adjust them a little bit as you're working, but you can kind of like pull them a little bit tighter that way. Is that making sense? Are we good? Okay. Okay, anybody need anything before we start to weave? Do we have your work that's good? Okay, cool. All right, I don't see anybody frantically waving anymore. Okay, so we're gonna start with whatever color you want to be in the middle of your rainbow. And, oh Lord, where did my needle go? Yikes, so much stuff. Okay, 3 seconds to find my needle. So sorry, I am professional, I swear. Okay, so in your bag, there is a little snack bag that has 2 little pieces of construction paper and a needle. So carefully, you're gonna pick your first color of yarn. It's gonna be whatever color you want to be in the middle of your rainbow. So for most people, if you wanna go like in rainbow order, that's going to be purple. So find your purple, or just whatever color you wanna start with. You can start with whatever color. Okay, and we're gonna take that little piece of paper out of the bag, and we're gonna take the needle out of the bag. And you're probably like, Mrs. Rains, why are you giving me trashy pieces of paper? Here's the secret. This little piece of paper, you're going to fold it in half hot dog style, like so. This is your hot dog bun, and it is magic, y'all. I know it doesn't seem like much, but it's going to be your lifesaver when you're weaving. So here's how this works. This is gonna be your needle threader. When you've got your yarn, you put your yarn inside the hot dog bun. You make sure that it doesn't stick out past the end. You close up the hot dog bun. And now the yarn will so nice go through the eye of your needle. Ta-da, with no frizz. Magic. Okay, so to show you that one more time, you take your little piece of construction paper, fold it in half hot dog style. Take the end of your yarn color, whatever color you're gonna start with. Put it inside the hot dog bun. Close the hot dog bun. And then put it through the eye of the needle. Like magic. Ta-da! Okay, so now we get to actually start the weaving part. Hooray, we're there. Okay, so I usually start, I'm right-handed, so it makes sense to me to start on the right-hand side. If you're a lefty, you can start on the opposite side. I'm gonna use my needle to guide the yarn over, under, all the way across. And you're kind of going around. And when you get to the end, right now I've got my working yarn mostly over here on the right where it doesn't do me any good. I'm gonna weave over, under, all the way around. When I get to the end, I'm gonna pull most of it over here where my needle is. So in the beginning, that's gonna be a lot. And then as you keep working, it'll be less and less. Leave a little bit of a tail, and you can either, you could tie it onto your work thread. You could also just kind of put it down in the cut for right now, and that'll hold it in place so it doesn't pop out. So I've woven over, under, all the way around. Pull the working yarn over to where your needle is. You always want to end up with your working yarn where your needle is. And the needle isn't sharp, it's just kind of an easy thing to help you guide the yarn through. Dakota, what's up?
So what do we do with this end?
With the loose end?
Once you pulled it, or what do we do with the loose end?
Oh, with the leftover piece, you can just you can like put it in the bottom cut for right now if you want to, like slide it in there. Does that work? You good? Salem and Kai, do you still need to see the knot? I'm so sorry, I missed your message a minute ago. Okay, so you've woven to one side. You've got your, hopefully you've got your other piece secure. If it's not secure, it's not the end of the world. We're gonna tie it at the end, so no big deal. Okay, moving right along. We're on one side, hopefully. Over, under, over, under. All the working yarn is over here. Cool. I'm looking to see who's ready. Okay, Julian, you need some help?
So my whole thing just like fell apart and it's not working.
Uh-oh.
Can you start over with the under like that part?
Oh, with the weaving part? Oh, that, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I can do that. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull mine out and do it again. Okay, so you got your needle and your yarn. No, you got your yarn and your needle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna start on the side next to whichever hand is your dominant hand. I'm gonna go under the first string, over the second string, under, over. So see how I'm kind of weaving it up here where it's a little easier. Over, under, and you're just doing the over, under pattern all the way to the end. And then you pull your working yarn over where your needle is. So pulling, 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 and stop. And it kind of looks right now on my weaving like I've got nothing, but trust me, when you get the next row, it'll look better. Okay, so is everybody with me so far? You got your first row? Cool, cool. Okay, so here's where it gets tricky. Look at where you ended. I'm gonna actually turn my weaving over so I can just go right to left again. So right now my rainbow is upside down. You see how I'm doing that? I like to always weave right to left. I just think it's easier. So I'm just gonna keep turning my weaving so I can keep doing that. So right now, my purple yarn, I ended under the last thread. So who thinks they know, how do I need to start my next row? If I stopped under, do I start over or under? Dakota?
Over. You would need to start over.
You got it. Okay, so next row, instead of going back under again, I'm gonna go over, and I'm just gonna do the same pattern that I did before, where I'm going under one, over one, but I'm starting with over, all the way across. And here's, as I'm going, I can look and see what I did before, and as long as I'm not doing the same thing on the next row, then I know I'm doing it correctly. So I'm going all the way to the end. I'm gonna pull, oh, and if you get a knot, just very loosely, kind of gently untie it. Usually if you get a knot while you're weaving, it just ends up being kind of a loose knot where it's easy to pull out. And I'm just gonna push it all till it kind of makes like a little horseshoe at the bottom. Cool. Looking good, looking good. Okay, and here's a trick I'm gonna go ahead and show. Hang on. Okay. Here's a trick. If you, with this kind of weaving, here's the nice thing that you get. If you accidentally do the same thing going back the other way, I'm going to show you what that looks like, and you're going to see how you know it's wrong instantly. So if I end this row over and I start this row over also, and they're following the same pattern, I'm going to pull it through. Watch what happens. Pull, 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 pull. Okay, it just unwove the whole row. So if you do it wrong, it just unweaves itself and you go, whoops, well, I won't do that next time. So my row is under, I'm starting over, and then following my pattern all the way to the end, pulling it over. Is this kind of making sense as you're starting to try it? This is the hardest part, guys. It's okay. After a few minutes, you will start to get the hang of it, and this will all be a memory. Okay. Oh yeah, you can start over or under. It doesn't matter how you start as long as your second row is different. Yes. Okay, so I ended my last row over. So I'm going to start my next row under, weaving around. And then I pull all my working yarn over to where my needle is. I can kind of push it down, tidy it up a little bit. Don't pull it too tight because that might yank it off of the warp threads. So you can see how it's sort of starting to add up to like a little purple horseshoe in the middle, right? Kind of, sort of. Kylie, what you got? Is that looking okay? Cool. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna kind of judge if you want a little purple, you might add your next row now. If you want more purple, I usually do at least probably 4 or 5 rows of each color before I swap colors. So right now I have 3 rows. I'm gonna do 2 more rows. I ended my row under, so I'm gonna start over. And I'm just following my pattern all the way to the end. And I can see where it's, ooh, okay, I think I'm in the camera now, where they're not matching up. So I'm doing it right. You kind of keep that checkerboard idea in your head. Hopefully that will help a little bit. Okay, looks like we're doing okay. I'm gonna do 1 more row. Over and under, all the way to the end, and pull. And then I'm gonna push it down. So when you get to the end of a row, you want to kind of like use your fingers to smush it down a little bit so that it's like tidy and everything kind of lines up. Do you see kind of what I'm doing there to make it look neat? Okay, Kylie, what you need? Unmute yourself.
Do you do the whole yarn?
No. So you probably have a ton of extra yarn. I would say do about 4 or 5 rows. If you really love purple, you can do more than 4 or 5. When you get to the end of your rows and you're ready to switch colors, that's the next thing I'm going to show you. So when you're happy with where you are, then you're going to pause right there for a minute. Okay, so now come the scissors. I'm going to cut enough that I can tie a knot, and we're going to need to know how to tie a knot for this part too. Okay, so I'm going to cut with a little bit of extra. Don't cut too close. I'm leaving some to tie it with. And going in rainbow order. If I'm going to go in rainbow order, my next color is going to be blue. If you just want to kind of make it up as you go along, you can use whatever color second you want to. So I'm leaving a little bit of a tail here. Julian, what you need?
Mine just looks like a giant knot. It doesn't look like a horseshoe.
Oops. Okay. So maybe see if you can loosen it up a little bit. It looks like maybe it got tangled somewhere along the way as you were working. The best thing to prevent something like that is if you can kind of like carefully, like with each row, kind of double check and make sure everything is kind of going the way it should be. You might need to back up a little bit and kind of like neaten it up to make sure you can keep going. Does that make sense? That's okay. Next time you know what to make sure happens, so it'll work out a little bit better. Okay, so second color, we're gonna move on even if like you're not totally completely ready, it's okay. I will review a little bit in just a minute here. I'm trying to sort of figure out like how to make everybody happy. We're gonna go on to the next color, and if you're not ready for that, don't panic because I'll show it again. Okay, so I've got my tail. I can show you my tail. Okay, so I've got my tail, and hang on. Somebody is unmuted. Who is it? Okay, so I'm going to tie them together, and if you want to see how to do the knot, this is probably the easier knot. You can either do it like your shoelaces, so you know, over and under, and then you do it again, so you do it twice, or here's the one that I think is much easier to deal with. You take your two colors that you're going to add together. Oh, got to do it in the camera, lady. Okay. And you're going to put them side by side next to each other. There we go. There's the camera. Okay. Now you're going to wrap both pieces around your fingers, or maybe just one finger. I didn't give myself enough to do multiple fingers, so it's just wrapped around one finger. And then I slip it off so it's like a O. Oh, hang on. Hopefully showing you it not going well is going to help you. Okay, wrap it around and do a circle. Yes.
I'm a little confused.
Okay, can I finish this knot and then I'll help you sort it out?
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Reed. Okay, so make a circle, and then you're going to put the ends through the opening and pull. That's an overhand knot. If you know some other kind of knot that you know works easy for you, you are welcome to tie whatever kind of knot makes you happy. So I'm going to show you with a different, I'll do it one more time. So hopefully it'll help. Okay, so your two colors, side by side. In front of the camera. Ooh, ah, ooh. Okay. Around your fingers. Slip them off your fingers so you got an O. And then you take the loose ends and you put them through the O and pull. Boop. So it kind of looks like a pretzel, and then you pull it tight. Okay. So are we good with the knots for now? Okay. So Reed, what was your question? Dakota.
Mine is a little tight.
Uh-huh.
This is mine right now, and I don't know really how I'm gonna knot it.
Oh, I got you. So you like kind of wove all the way to the end of the yarn?
Yes.
Okay, here's what you do. So take back one row, take one row out, and then you'll have enough to tie it.
Okay.
You have learned a valuable lesson, my friend. You got to leave enough for the knot. Next time, you'll probably remember it. But if not, I mean, it's not the hardest thing to fix. You just undo a row, and then you have enough for a knot. Ta-da! Cool.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay. So you should hopefully have your second color on. And honestly, at this point, you know all the steps. So you're just going to look at where you ended with your last row. My last row, I can see that I ended under. So when I start to weave again with my needle and my yarn, I'm just going to start weaving over under so that it's going the opposite. And you kind of know everything at this point. You're going to do 4 or 5 rows of your second color, and then you're going to cut with enough to tie a knot, and then you have your next color. You know all the steps, so you can keep on going. Okay. Julin, what's up?
Yes. So I couldn't get to loosen. so I just took the whole thing out.
Okay, that's not a big deal.
and
Sometimes
I don't remember how to start it.
you forgot how to start. No biggie. Yeah, sometimes honestly, it's a lot more work to try to fix something that's kind of a mess than to just totally start with a clean slate. So I think you did the right thing. So you're going to take your yarn, put it back in your needle, and especially if you have one of these fuzzy yarns, you're going to definitely want to use your hot dog bun, because trust me, that junk does not want to go in your needle. You're going to put it in your needle. Okay. And you're going to start either over or under, it doesn't matter. Weave your first row. And when you get to the end, pull your working yarn over to where your needle is. Oh, and for folks who have these ugly knots that are involved now, if you just kind of put it to where that can be underneath, you might have to weave 1 or 2 rows before it starts to behave itself, because right now my knot is like, ugh, hideous. But after a couple rows, you can kind of get it to like hide out underneath your weaving, and then it looks beautiful. Okay, so Julian, when you keep on going, just make sure when you start that first row that you kind of like push it down, and in the beginning it won't look like much. Once you've got like 2 or 3 rows, then it should be starting to look pretty good. And you can kind of tidy it up as you go along. And honestly, if you kind of do the first one and it like comes out awful, that is not uncommon, and having to go back and redo it is not the worst thing that'll happen. It's okay.
Is this what it's supposed to look like after 2 rows?
Yes. Yeah. Just push it down a little bit. And I'm trying to get my knot to behave. Get under there, you. Okay. Okay. And I'm noticing with my fuzzy yarn that it's becoming, since it's thicker, the row is like about as wide as I want it to be now. Ooh, hang on. Sorry, I think I had a yarn tickle. Say what?
How do I go to the next color?
So for the next color, let me catch up to you. Hang on. So I'm going to go 1 more row, I think, and then I'm going to be done with the blue. If you use a fuzzy one, it goes a little quicker. You don't have to do as many rows. Okay. So I'm going to cut it so that I've got enough to tie a knot. I'm going to get my next color. And I'm going to tie them together. Uh-oh, I dropped it. Okay. So you can either tie it like a shoelace knot, or you can do the overhand knot that I was showing. So you put the 2 pieces next to each other, circle around your finger, and then put the loose ends through the O and pull it. Okay. Is everybody doing okay? Is anybody frustrated? I swear it really does get quicker as you keep going, and better. Okay. Julian, how's it going? Better? Oh my gosh, so much yarn. Okay. Ella, what's up?
I have a knot in
Uh-oh.
my blue right here, and I don't know if that's supposed to be there.
Okay, so if you can't like pull the knot out, like if it's not just easy to kind of like pull a little bit and it just pops right out, what you can do is you can just keep going and the knot doesn't really hurt anything, because you might be able to like,
Okay.
as you keep weaving some more, you can probably just kind of like push it back out of the way once you get a little more on top of it.
What happened?
Does that make sense, Ella?
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, it's one of those things you kind of just have to play it by ear, and like if it's not going quite how you wanted it to, you might have to invent a good solution. Okay, next color. Okay. In the hot dog bun. In the needle. Start my next row under. You guys doing okay now? Nobody has reached Hulk smash yet, I hope. Okay. Okay. Julian, did you need help? Uh-oh. Unmute, unmute. There you go.
I swear it's just not working. It's like so messed up. I don't know what it is.
Okay, we'll look back at the last row, and you might need to undo one row just to see if you can get it to go. Basically, here's the trick. So you're weaving from, are you right-handed?
No, I'm left-handed.
Okay, so if you're left-handed, you're weaving from the left to the right, and then you're going to weave from the right to the left. And if you want to, you can do to the left to the right, and then turn it and do to the left to the right again. Do you kind of see what I mean? So like rather than going around in a complete circle, you're going across and back, across and back. Does that kind of help, I hope?
Yeah.
Maybe, kind of, sort of. And it's okay if you have to go back and undo a little bit to get it to work right. It will make your life easier if you can kind of fix it as you go along.
I mean, but what's happening is that it's just like the screen is just going with any purple and getting stuck.
So it's getting stuck. Can you back up to where it started to get stuck and see if maybe you can? This is one of the limitations of Zoom art lessons, unfortunately. Yeah. I can't untangle the knots for you as much as I would like to. This is actually better in some ways, though, because now you're learning how to fix it yourself instead of me just having to fix it for you every time. Which probably feels a little bit worse and more frustrating now, but in the long run will actually be helpful.
Yes, so I can't back up at all because the piece is really just.
Oh, because it's too tangled?
Now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the other option is if you can kind of like push the strings into kind of like a somewhat of a U shape and then just keep building on top of it. Then maybe you can kind of keep going. Is it just too tangled?
Yeah, when I try to do that, this is what happens.
Uh-oh. Okay, so I think if I were there to help you, probably what I would do, you have a pretty big piece of that color, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would go ahead and carefully cut it off and then try to pull out what you've got and see if you can just kind of like you won't necessarily be able to salvage that last little bit that's left, but you can use what's, do you get what I'm saying? You might just kind of have to like carefully cut and pull out the stuff that's messed up and then start with a fresh start with the rest of the yarn that's left over.
But it's all messed up, so I just have to pull it all out.
Okay, so let me see if I can kind of show you what to do. So I would just go ahead and like slide your scissors under. Make sure that you're only cutting the color yarn that's like the weft, not the warp. It's like don't cut the ones that we put on there first, and then cut it and pull them out until they're removed. Okay. You work on that for a minute and I'll check back on you in a second here. Okay. Oops. Okay. Is everybody else doing pretty okay with it now? Does anybody else need help troubleshooting anything? Cool.
Okay.
Okay. What's up? Somebody had a question? No, yes. Eva, did you have a question?
We figured it out, but then now we're gonna have to start over on the wrong side.
Oh man. Well, that's okay. Boo. That's frustrating, but I bet you won't do it again. Really, doing it wrong in the beginning is not the worst thing that could happen to you. It doesn't feel very good when it happens, but if you make some mistakes at the beginning, then you know how to solve them. Okay. And I know I said this in the beginning, but now we're at the end and you might have forgot that because it was a while ago. Whenever you guys need to leave is fine. If you want to keep weaving until you're finished, you can keep weaving. If you would rather like go take a little break, eat some lunch, whatever you need to do, and then come back and watch the video to finish. Let me see where we're at time-wise. Okay, I don't see a timer, but I will put some notes on the video to help you find the right spot.
We've been in class for 2 hours, man. I said, you said you didn't have a clock, but I do. We've been in class for 2 hours.
Time flies. Yeah, if you can stay a little longer, you can stay and keep going. If you need to go because it's been 2 hours, that's okay too. Oof, okay. This honestly, this would happen in class too. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer if we're struggling. Sometimes it takes a little bit shorter if we're flying. It just kind of depends. Our project next week, I don't know if this will help you feel better about it or not, but our project next week is watercolor, and it will probably be an easy one for everybody, so it should be fun. Okay, weaving can be stressful, y'all. Okay, I think the other thing that will help you with troubleshooting a little bit, hopefully, I already have videos finished of showing you some of these steps a little bit more like zoomed in maybe, so it's easier to see. And maybe if you can just watch that, it might help. I know it's still not as good as having somebody there to actually help you in person, but I'll put them in the slideshow, and hopefully being able to watch it over and over will maybe be helpful. You also might be pretty overweaving at this point, and that's okay too. Sometimes take a break and come back is the best option. Okay, so let's pretend like I'm gonna end with the yellow so I can just show you how to finish when you're finished. So then you'll know what to do even if you're not quite there yet, which I'm not quite there yet either. When you're done, all you're gonna do is you're gonna go around the warp thread one more time. So see how I've got a loop right here? And then I go through the loop. So I'm tying a knot. So it's tied onto, oh, I'm actually in the right place this time. You tie it onto the warp thread, and then you leave a little extra and hide it back behind. Ta-da! And then if you want to use your fluff, you can just kind of stick it in what's left. And it's very hard to see because it's white on white, but you'll just have to take my word for it. It looks fluffy and lovely. Fluffy clouds. Ta-da! So hopefully that helps. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to stay here to help you troubleshoot if you need some more help. And then I'm going to put those videos in the slideshow so that you can watch them later if you need to.
Miss Rain.
Yeah.
Whenever we go through, was I supposed to be weaving on the color side?
Yes.
Okay, well then I guess it doesn't matter that I took it out because I was weaving all around.
Oops. That's right. That was just your practice round. Okay, I'll see you later. That was just your practice round. See ya.
Yeah.
Take a breather, take a break.
Thank you for letting us do art camp. This is really fun.
You're welcome. Thank you for toughing it out. I know it can be a little bit of a struggle. How's your rainbow handling?
It's doing good.
Ooh, beautiful. Good job. Beth, are you doing okay too?
Yeah, Beth is doing a great weaver. I've got good weavers here.
Yay.
And plus,
Awesome.
I'm really good at weaving because I tried that last year and I really liked it.
Oh yeah, we did the rainbow or the circle weavings. Oh, good job, Dakota. Looks great.
And it looked like a wagon wheel because I didn't finish it all. It looked like a wagon wheel.
Well, that's part of why it's good to have a painting on it too, because then it doesn't matter.
And we may miss it next week. I don't know if we're going to take our project with us on vacation or not, but we'll definitely catch it next week.
Well, you can always catch up later if you need to.
Yep. Yep.
Good deal. Well, thank you. Have a great week.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye, Henley. Okay. Dakota, looks like you're doing a great job. I know some of you guys, if you've come to art camp at the Yadkin Arts Center before, you've probably done this with me before, so hopefully it's feeling a little familiar now that you're into it. You maybe didn't have to do quite as much of the setup yourself before. Okay, and now that we only have a few people, I think I can maybe unmute. Okay. Ooh, good job, Barrett. You got there. Looks like you're ready for clouds if you want them. And thank you to all the helpers who helped today too. I really appreciate it. I know it's not the easiest job, but we couldn't have done it without you, obviously.